Hello, thank you for joining me in this sharing. The question that is presented this day is, how do I trust again after betrayal? How do I trust again after betrayal? Please give me one moment to receive source energy, known to me as the Grand Universe, a collective consciousness to assist ones with compassion and kindness, love towards oneself and Mother Earth. We are here. We are here eager to share, and we want to sort of say, almost confession, if you will, that this question has been extremely difficult for Tracy to allow the words to flow freely. She has no idea what is going to be said. She is receiving the words the same time the words are being delivered. But the topic is so tender to her heart that we get 10 minutes in, if you will, and she just is unable to continue, tears in her eyes, feeling very saddened in her own experience, if you will. But she is determined to do it again. So here we are. This will be take 4, and it is very rare that there is more than one take, if you will. There's very rare. But today, because it is so tender to the channel herself, there is a little bit of difficulty. So the question that is asked is, how do I trust again after betrayal? Painful for so many. Painful for so many. For the experience of betrayal truly leaves a space of emptiness. Truly creates a space, if you will, to mistrust in others, in another. The feeling of betrayal can be so extreme. It can really seep into one's being. The layers that we talk about, betrayal is one of the feelings, if you will, experiences, if you will, that can lead one to truly changing the way they view the world. For once they have the feeling of betrayal at a deep level, it is so difficult to trust again. And that is the question, how do I trust again after betrayal? In a nutshell, and we're going to keep it short and sweet for Tracy. In a nutshell, time is required to heal the wounds. And we want to say wounds because when one is betrayed, the wounds are deep. The wounds are deep. What would life be like if one didn't trust? What would life be like if one didn't trust? And how was the trust built before one was betrayed? The space of trust was established, or there wouldn't be betrayal, if you will. The space of trust was established, and one is betrayed. Now, ones can be betrayed in business, ones can be betrayed in personal world, and ones can be betrayed, a spouse or a lover. And all feeling very different, all feeling very different. For when it is a spouse or someone who is deeply loved, it really can be so painful because ones will say, but I trusted him or her. I trusted that they would hold me in the highest regard. It starts to become very personal. A betrayal starts to become very personal. And then one's really beat upon themselves. I should have known better. Why did I trust this one in the first place? I saw the signs, etc., etc. I would ask questions, and one would look me in the eye, and lie, and lie. I had no idea, even though I sensed it. I couldn't find anything until the moment that it was exposed. And so one's truly beat upon oneself when there is betrayal. Now, what happens when one has betrayed another and they come forth to ask for forgiveness? What happens when one comes forth to ask for forgiveness and the other decides, because it is a decision, the other decides to allow space for the other to regain, if you will, the trust, the other knowing that the one was so deeply loved, wanting the experience again, wanting to give them a chance. For souls make mistakes, people make mistakes, and let us say it is forgiven and a space is created, and there is only more sort of betrayal. Then it really comes upon the one's being, not upon the other that betrayed now twice. It is deep in the one's heart that gave the forgiveness, that gave another opportunity, gave the opportunity of trust in the first place, and it is an opportunity, and gave it again. How do ones get around that? And then you have the experience of betrayal. One may come and ask for forgiveness, or they just walk away. Feeling, letting the other one be betrayed without any sort of relief, if you will. Or they come back asking for forgiveness, and the one that is so deeply wounded says, no, you had a space. You had all the trust in the world, and you messed up. You truly betrayed me. There isn't any forgiveness. I cannot find a space to trust you again. You have shown me, you have proven to me, I cannot trust again. And then that tends to seep into many years, if you will. They get into another experience, and it doesn't take long for that wound, if you will, to start to surface again, sort of being placed upon another. One that has been betrayed doesn't easily trust in another. So the question, how do I trust again after betrayal? We want to almost say it's a roll of the dice. It is a gamble. And we say it knowing that it feels like a gamble. Because it's sort of a catch-22, if you will. If you trust again and you're betrayed again, why did you bother in the first place? And if you don't ever trust again, you don't experience in fullness of trusting in another. And isn't it wonderful when you trust in another? When you trust on the deepest level, isn't it wonderful? Isn't it glorious? When you just know the other has your back and you have theirs. Is that not just the most brilliant feeling in the world? Now, it is true that ones can go off course, some causing the sense of betrayal and not truly meaning it, not out to get the other. Now there are some who are out to get the other. Sometimes we want to say business, if you will, someone taking something that doesn't belong to them, and they build up the trust for the other one to hand it over, and they hand it over and the one is gone with it. When one's place trust in another, they're truly placing trust in themselves, trust in the knowing that they are doing their best. Now here, this is difficult to hear. When one trusts in another and there is betrayal, it isn't a reflection on the one that trusted. It is an absolute reflection on the one who betrayed. But it bounces back. The one that trusted feels to beat themselves up. Now, it could be that the one that has betrayed will beat themselves up as well. But the one that is trusting found the space. And life is lived fully when one can be their authentic self. So, you put forth your best footing. You put forth the best of who you are, because how can you put forth the best of who you are to make the steps to establish the space of trust when you take your first step being mistrusting? The moment you're mistrusting, it cannot provide a space of trust ever. Ever. So when one trusts in another, or trusts in the situation, or trusts in one word, whatever it is, fill in the blank, whatever the betrayal was, when one is trusting the other to come through, the other to get their back, to do the right thing, one is truly putting their best forward, and that should never be condemned. Even if there is betrayal, it is not a reflection on the trust itself. It is not a reflection on the one that is trusting. It is a reflection of the one that has betrayed. Think about it. Think about it. But as soon as one feels betrayed, it is a pain that is so deep. Pain that is so deep. How can one hurt me like that? How can, fill in the blank? And it becomes really big, really, really, really big. And it so often, if not all times, comes back to the one that was trusting. I thought they, fill in the blank. I thought they loved me more. I thought I deserved better. And just, it goes on and on and on. So, how does one trust again? By putting their best foot forward. When we said it is a gamble, you have no control over another. You have no control over another. It is like rolling a dice, because you have no control on what the other will create. Free will, no control. All you have control over is how you are presenting yourself, how you are living, how you are being. If you are being trusting, most times you will attract people and experiences that can be trusted. One only has control on oneself, not on another. So, you put your best foot forward, you were trusting going in, you were betrayed. Now, you want to live authentically? You must find within putting your best foot forward. Putting your best foot forward yet again, regardless if it is the same one you're giving another chance to, or someone or something, an experience, going to try it again. If you go in to it mistrusting, that is what will be presented. You want to walk the greatest part of you, to be the greatest part of you. And it is good for the soul to be trusting. It is. Now, we're not saying not to be cautious. We're not saying to turn a blind eye when something is truly obvious, if you will. But there are times, we're speaking about the times where one was so trusting and did not see it coming, or saw it coming and sort of thought, no, can't be, put so much trust in the other's word, so much trust in the other. Saw it but didn't want to see it until it was so big you could not help but see it. When one is betrayed, it isn't a reflection on the one trusting. It is that simple. Does it change the experience? No. Does it change the hurt? Probably not. Does it change the feeling of anger and upset? Probably not. But when one realizes not to beat themselves up about it, because it really isn't a reflection on oneself, knowing one has no control on another, over another, one can sort of say, I did my best. I did my best. I trusted it because I wanted an experience so grand. I had to trust it. I had to. How could I not feel the feelings that I had if I didn't trust it? So, how does one trust again? We want to say throw the dice. Putting your best foot forward allows a space for you to be the best you. How could you be the best you if you didn't put trust into a relationship, into a business partnership? How could you not live fully if you don't find the trust? Now, we know this is sort of general, and it is. But what we are wanting is to shine light upon one's light. And we're wanting to be as gentle as we can present it. This topic truly sits heavy on Tracy's heart. Difficult time conveying the message. Many questions are like that. And to some, they will view this and think, what was that about? Not truly having the experience of betrayal at a deep level. At a deep level. So we are just wanting to share that being your authentic self, being compassionate towards the upset, compassionate towards the experience, compassionate towards oneself, compassionate towards the other, if you so choose. It is a choice, but it is also a choice to be compassionate to yourself. It is a choice to be compassionate to oneself. So, how does one trust again after betrayal? By putting their best foot forward and being their authentic self. Being authentic to one's being. Being true to yourself. Being truthful to yourself. Knowing your own truth. Knowing your own truth. You have no control over another, but you do have control over yourself and how you feel about betrayal. So if you feel that you're going to beat yourself up and you feel that you were foolish, as many do, so if you walk around choosing to feel foolish, plays havoc on your well-being. But if you, after the feeling of betrayal, after the experience, say to yourself, I did my best, the other did not. If it can become that simple, Oh, it truly takes a load off, if you will. It truly lightens it up. It truly releases some of the hurt and the anguish and the upset and the heartache when one can understand that they did their best and perhaps the other did not. Perhaps the other will learn or not. You have no control over another. You only have control over oneself. Put your best foot forward. Be who you are meant to be. Shine your light, and shine your light to the upsets. Shine your love to the anguish. Be compassionate and kind towards yourself and perhaps the other if you so choose. But know deep within that you only have control on your actions and far greater your reactions. It is up to you. The last segment we talked about forgiveness and letting go. And wouldn't it be nice if you could let go of betrayal? Wouldn't it be nice if you could forgive betrayal? But again, it comes from within. No one can make you. It comes from within. And if you can find it, oh, there is a peacefulness that is so grand. So, we could also do the spin-off of you feeling badly because you have betrayed another. Chances are you've had the experience betraying another and being betrayed. Chances are. Not always, but chances are. And it could be on a small scale. Could be on a small scale. So, with that, forgiveness, compassion, kindness towards oneself. We say it over and over. We know we're being repetitive. But we want to be gentle and we want to remind. We just want ones to feel so much better. And we're just sharing ways, if you will, or sharing conversation that allows ones to ponder, to perhaps see it in a different perspective. Perhaps to see it in a different perspective so one can feel better. So, with that, we are going to conclude this segment that took several takes or times for Tracy. She can feel she is sort of smiling within because she knows that when she gets upset, she gets these very deep lines between her eyebrows, if you will. And she really wants to smooth it out. She really wants to smooth it out. But she also just wanted to put herself aside to deliver the message for others to feel perhaps better than they feel this day. And she wanted the same for herself. So, with that, we are going to conclude. We often say, it is as trusting as the sun. And isn't there brilliance in that line? As trusting as the sun? Doesn't that give one comfort to be as trusting as the sun? To have an experience that you are as trusting as the sun? How could you not feel your best when you are as trusting as the sun? Good. There is great love for you. Thank you. Thank you.